Here comes your 90-day fiance. Your 90-day fiance recap. With Allie and Melissa.
Hello, and welcome to Webcrawler's Bimbo News 90-Day Fiancé Recap. I'm Allie Siegel.
I am Melissa Stettin.
This is a podcast where we'll discuss the latest episodes in the 90-Day Fiancé multiverse. We have a Patreon. Our true crime episodes are now only available at patreon.com/webcrawlers for $5 a month, and you'll get 2 to 3 episodes
Webisodes.
You'll get a webisode every other week. And this week we have a story that went viral on TikTok. Who the fuck did I marry? We've summarized 8 hours of 8 hours of information for you. Really crazy story.
Yeah.
Also, please rate and review us on Apple Podcast and call into our hotline for our mailbag episodes. The number is
626-63 for 2069. Nice.
all right, let's get into 90 Day Fiancé. Some updates on previous seasons.
There's been a lot of drama going on in the 90-Day universe.
Yes.
Do you remember Nicole and Mahmoud?
Yes, I do. Nicole was from Los Angeles.
She had like the blonde short cut.
Are we sure her name was Nicole?
Yes. Right?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is Nicole. Okay. There's been a lot of Nicoles.
There's another blonde Nicole.
Yeah. She kind of looks like my doppelganger a little bit. We look a little similar. Or she has a blonde bob. Or she looks like one of my incarnations in one of the eras of my life. And she moved to, was it Egypt?
I think
to be with Mahmoud.
Yeah. Was it? Where's he from?
I think he was from. I think it was. Yeah, Egypt. It was Egypt.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, and he was very. I got weird vibes from him initially.
Well, yeah, he was very controlling, controlled the way she dressed, controlled her makeup.
That's right.
Her makeup, who she could talk to, who she couldn't talk to.
Right.
Everything like that. And I guess he has been arrested for domestic abuse of her.
I think they moved back to LA and they've been here. But yeah, he was arrested for assaulting Nicole for domestic abuse.
Horrible. I mean, honestly, could have seen it coming. I hope she gets out of that relationship and wishing.
Yeah. She did not seem. It felt like she kind of got into this relationship and then was like, well, I feel kind of stuck, or like I kind of need to see this through. She seemed not happy. So did not know how to get out of it. And I think she grew up really religious too. She had some sort of weird backstory, or weird isn't the right word, but interesting backstory. Yeah.
And then Michael and Angela. He finally came to America and then subsequently went missing, or quote unquote missing.
Yeah, was it last weekend? Angela was on TikTok or Instagram Live or Facebook something.
Yeah, Instagram Live.
Talking about how Michael has been missing for a few days. And you're like, wait, what? What do you mean?
Yeah, she was like hysterically crying. She seemed like zooted up. I don't know if she's on. And my guess is that she might have become because if you watch 90 Day Fiancé, her behavior is very erratic and strange. I think that she, in addition to drinking a lot, I think she could be addicted to pills potentially.
She's slurring her words a lot.
Yeah, and she's had a lot of plastic surgery, so I wouldn't be surprised if she got addicted to pills after.
Oh, yeah.
She also works in hospice care, so she probably has access to clients' medications. Wouldn't be surprised if she was taking a few here and there.
Yeah.
But I still don't understand what happened. So there's a lot of conflicting stories.
He said he went missing and left like his passport and everything clothes at home. And then the police called, or Michael ended up calling the police to tell them that he wasn't missing, that he just left Angela's house because she was like abusing him or something. And so he felt scared for his life, so he just left. So Angela saying that he's missing is not necessarily true. He just kind of left and went somewhere. I don't know where.
Yeah.
But he's been found. He's not missing, though, because he's spoken to the police.
Yeah, but then I also heard other stories saying, like, the police say, no, he didn't call us. And then I've heard other stories where you know, she abused him and hid his passport and his credit cards and his money, and then he had to escape and stuff. So I don't know if we know the true story.
What's going on? Because didn't Angela say he called the police, or who said that? I don't know if that we can trust that.
I don't think Angela said that. I think it was just on Twitter somewhere.
Right.
So, I mean, you made a funny statement. You were like, Angela flew all the way to Nigeria to
rip the bumper off his car.
So who knows what she's capable of, you know?
Yeah. It's scary.
I just hope he's safe.
Ugh. He made it all. He finally made it to America after 4 years, 5 years or something.
A long time.
And God, what a nightmare.
I don't think I could live under that roof. No. And then Stargasm, the website, is doing research into Sam's arrest, and they found out some really crazy stuff.
Yeah.
It's totally not the story that Sam told.
There was a lot of things left out.
Yeah, so Sam was like, oh, my prescription was expired for medication, and someone else had cocaine or something in the car. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that there was a lot of needles in the car
with clear liquid in them, in gloves.
Right.
In plastic gloves.
Then there was cocaine. Then there was also a pill bottle that was his brother's, not his.
I thought it was his dad's.
His dad. Well, there was two different pill bottles. Right. One was his dad's, but neither of them were filled with the pills that Suboxone. They were both filled with pills that he's never had a prescription for. They were one was his dad's medication, and then another one was, I think it was his brother's pill bottle, but it was filled with other medication that they didn't have prescriptions for.
And they found a bunch of weed, which is whatever. And then there was they said a bottle cap with some weird white residue in it.
Yeah. So, I mean, essentially, he just had a whole bunch of drugs in the car. He was actively doing a bunch of drugs. So... Yikes.
He got his diversion program. I guess he got that. He's not in jail.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
But the charges were dropped against him, or something happened where the charges were dropped because I guess they couldn't prove it was his because he was in the car with someone else.
Lucky break.
I don't know. I don't know.
Someone has a guardian angel. Yeah. Well, let's get into 90 Day Fiance, season 10, episode 18. Ashley and Manuel. Do you want to start with them?
Yeah. So this is the last regular episode of the season, and then we'll get into the first part of the tell-all after this. So it's wedding day. Manuel's getting a haircut with his friends. Talking about, because it's supposed to rain, there's a hurricane coming in.
God.
And he said, the gringos are very superstitious, bro. And Manuel's like, well, Ashley being an astrologer and spiritualist, can't she see what's going to happen all day?
It's so
Which
stupid.
is very funny. And then I found this weird. Ashley was like, I'm going to read my tarot cards. And they blurred them.
I was thinking they might be from an independent artist who didn't license
okay, that makes sense.
the tarot
I'm so
cards
confused.
publicly. Yeah, it's probably not like the standard deck. It's probably from like an independent artist.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And Manuel's visa expires like the day after their wedding. It's crazy.
They always wait. They always wait.
She's all ready to go. She's got her crystal tiara that makes her look like the Statue of Liberty.
Insane looking.
Like 2 layers of crystals. It's
Yeah.
gotta be heavy too, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's not real crystals.
Oh, right,
I bet you 100% it's resin. And she thinks she's wearing real crystals.
Because that would be
100% it's resin.
heavy to wear.
So many times I'll be at like a flea market or like a farmer's market and people are selling crystals. And I'm like, this is just colored resin. And you think you're buying like amethyst and it's not even a crystal. It's fake. I bet you. Yeah.
So she's in the car driving to the wedding, having one of her classic meltdowns.
This isn't just a meltdown. She's like wailing.
Screams.
Yeah. And her mom was in the back seat.
Yeah.
And she thought she was joking. Like her mom is like, are you actually crying?
I thought so insane. She's like,
yeah. Yeah, she thought the driver was laughing.
Was like pretending to cry.
Yeah, like pretend crying and like laughing. And it was actually Ashley having a nervous breakdown. Like that's how insane she sounds.
It's so, gosh, she's so dramatic. She's so dramatic. Yeah. So they get to the beach. It's thundering. It's lightning. And it starts to rain. People are sitting on the beach. Like everyone's getting wet.
But I feel like it was only for a few seconds. Like it was not as bad as they made it seem.
Yeah, it rained for like the first part of it, but people weren't like soaked. Like they were a little wet. People's hair was
reaction
wet.
Was disproportionate to how badly it was raining.
Yeah, she had an umbrella, but she was the only one. And then, they did their vows or whatever. Manuel started crying. I think he was very sad because like his family wasn't there.
Yeah,
it was just very sad.
Also, there was only like 6 people at the wedding. So I was like, why? First of all, just moving inside if it's like 6 people. But I guess she really wanted a beach wedding. But second, okay, if 6 people get a little wet for 30 minutes, it is what it is. Why are you freaking out? It was just so strange to me.
Yeah, very weird.
She's such
it's not like
drama.
This huge event where like you're going to ruin everything. It's like 6 people hanging out on a beach.
Yeah. So that was them. Anyway, Nikki and Justin. Okay. So Nikki's about to do like her confessional for did this feel kind of scripted to you?
Yes, it did.
Okay, the timing was a little
sus. Too perfect.
Yeah. So she's about to do her like confessional for the show. And as she's in hair and makeup, which they happen to be filming.
Right.
I mean, maybe they always film it, but that would seem like unnecessary. But they're filming her in hair and makeup. And she looks down and she gets a text and it's from Igor/Justin saying, hello. I want to discuss something very important with you, and I ask you to take it seriously. Given all the circumstances, I have come to a sad conclusion that our relationship cannot continue. I compromised and I sacrificed my own interests, shocking my parents and everyone around me, including my status and my dignity. However, continuing in this matter is no longer possible for me. I realize that I need to take control of my life and rectify the situation. May you find a path to a worthy life filled with love and mutual attachment. Farewell, and I wish you all the best.
This is like a letter you write to your boss at a job.
Right. We've seen the language difference that occurs between them. He's English as a second language, and it's not... He doesn't really speak totally fluently. He's for sure conversational. Rectify the situation, like sad. Given he didn't write
this in like I don't know, Chat GPT. It was like write a breakup letter for me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's so like professional and odd.
It's so odd. And I guess what happened is they had gotten in a fight a few weeks before because Justin didn't have a job and she was sending him money again, and she was frustrated about sending him money. And they didn't talk for a few weeks, and then she got this text. But I'm like, if you're continually frustrated about sending him money, stop sending him money.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Solution. Don't send him money.
Yeah.
But she knows deep down in her heart that she has to send him money in order to talk to him. Like, she knows stay with that.
Him. Right. She's self-sabotaging, and she's blaming everything on him without taking accountability for her part. Like, she's doing something and then feeling resentful for doing it.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, well, stop doing it and then see what happens.
Stop doing it.
But also, it's just the fact that she says too, she's like, well, sometimes we get in these fights and don't talk for a few weeks, and then it kind of just like fizzles out, and then everything's fine. Not normal.
No, that's not a healthy relationship.
No, you don't get in a fight with your partner and just not talk for a few weeks.
That's crazy. They have a terrible relationship. It's so nuts.
She's what, in her 40s or something?
I think like maybe early 50s.
Imagine being that age and being like, yeah, my boyfriend and I got in a fight and haven't spoken for 2 weeks. We haven't spoken for a couple weeks. We're still together.
Okay, psycho.
If I didn't talk to my boyfriend for like 2 days, I'd be like, we're broken up.
Yeah.
Like,
you're not talking to me? Okay, well, we're not together anymore,
it's crazy.
And then she texted back, like, begging to get one more chance. And so she's like devastated. We see her like the next day in her bed. Her mom comes over. She's like in bed crying. Yeah.
Her apartment too is next level.
Oh,
it's fake. It's like all black and pink.
Yeah.
And like fake Andy Warhol paintings of herself. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
I could not live that life.
No. God. In a New Jersey studio.
Oh God!
So Clayton Anali, we're seeing if she's going to show up to the altar, and of course she does.
Yeah,
they always tease this. I thought it could have happened this time.
I really thought she wasn't going to show up, but alas, she did.
Because like 90 minutes before the wedding, she's laying in bed.
Yeah, just chilling,
just chilling in bed.
Yeah.
But then we see the makeup artist comes over, does her makeup and hair. She shows up. Clayton's dad walks her down the aisle.
Yeah.
They do their whole vows and whatever, and they kiss. And it's like, Annalie's like, okay, I guess I'll kiss you. Like, it's awkward.
It's so awkward. It's so gross.
And then at the reception, Clayton's like, I have a surprise. And everyone's like, huh? Annalie's like, what? He's going to do a little dance, and he's going to sing. A little dance and a sing. It's called the Marinara dance. And it's like a Peruvian dance.
Yeah. It's what he was practicing with his friend, right? With the hats. Yeah.
So it's like a weird little dance. Annalie comes up and dances with him. It's just very uncomfortable and weird.
Yeah,
at least he's trying to do something.
Yeah.
And then Clayton's mom's at the wedding, and she's like interviewed, and she's like, you know what? It's definitely time for them to get their own place. And you're like, oh, okay. Wow. And then she's like, I'll be fine. I have all my plants and stuff. I'll be fine. And you're like, oh, that's sad.
Spoiler alert. She
does
not have her own place. Yeah.
And then Annalie's like, well, I got to tell my dad that I'm married and that I have a husband, because her dad doesn't know.
This is so crazy. Yeah.
So she
they've been together for 2 years.
Yes.
And now she's moved to America and married this guy, and her dad has no clue she even has a boyfriend.
Her dad thinks she's there for work, whatever that means. So she FaceTimes her dad. He asks her, how's work going?
and she's so uncomfortable. Like, she doesn't want to say anything. And like, she brings Clayton over and he's just like standing behind her. And he's like, or she's like, this is my boyfriend.
Yeah. She's like, this is my novio.
Mi novio. But then she's like, also, we're married, and like shows the ring.
She doesn't even say that at first. She goes also, and then shows the ring. And I'm like, I thought it was so disrespectful. She's so worried this whole time about what her dad is thinking. And the way she tells him is so weird and uncomfortable and makes it 200 times worse. Like, why wouldn't she tell him in an intimate setting, one-on-one, and be super serious about it? She kind of like is playful like, and after the fact. Yeah, it's just bizarre.
And her dad like starts crying.
Yeah.
And he like gets up, he like walks off.
Yeah.
And the sister comes on and is like, he's really, really upset. Like, we'll talk to you later.
Yeah,
so it's like, oh, yikes.
Yeah, it's
not happy.
Painful. And she's like, well, you don't understand. And Sam's like kind of confused, being like, or Clayton's kind of like confused, saying like, oh, that didn't go how we want. And Annalie's like, well, you don't understand my dad's heart. You'll get to understand. I'm like, I kind of feel like that was on you. Maybe if you had said 2 years ago, I'm dating someone who I really like, and ushered him through the process instead of being like, hey, by the way, I moved somewhere and I'm married now, it wouldn't have been such a big shock.
Yep. Yeah.
Why
would you do that?
Any parent would have that reaction.
Yeah.
Not just a protective parent. And I'm in another country for life now. It's just, she's so weird.
Yeah.
Sam and Citra, they're married now. However, the night of their wedding, they all slept in a room together because Citra's convinced that like the Midwest is Texas Chainsaw Massacre land.
Yeah, and it's so funny.
Yeah, and so she slept in bed with her two sisters, and I think did Sam sleep with the dad?
There's a bunk bed in the room, so Sam slept on the bottom bunk, and Citra's dad slept on the top bunk.
Yeah, they all slept together. And the next morning when they're eating breakfast, Citra's dad is like, usually, you'd break the seal on your wedding night, but not you. It's like disgusting. So what is this next part? I think I missed it about running from your problems.
The dad is like, so you're a Muslim now. Like, I think Sam says this. He's like, no pigs, no drugs, no alcohol.
That's like he has to repeat that in his head all day
pigs,
long, so
no
he
drugs,
doesn't fuck
no
up.
alcohol.
Yeah.
And the dad is like talking to him about just like, saying, trying to give him advice. Like, don't run from your problems. You need to face them.
It's good advice.
Good advice. Good advice.
Yeah.
Then Citra's family finally leaves and they have the house to themselves. And they're about to have some weird sex.
Yeah, so they try to have sex in the room, and as anyone with dogs knows, the dogs try to get involved in the sex.
Like, why don't they just close the door? Don't let the dogs in.
Well, even that happens with my dogs
just
too. Where then they'll just whine at the door. So when
cats do that too.
When and if on the rare occasion I have sex, I put them in the back house.
Oh.
Yeah. I just like, I have like a ADU like office thing, and I just put them back there for a little bit.
Put them in jail.
Yeah, I put them in jail. They go to sex jail. But so Citra's like, they were trying to lick us everywhere. So we went into the laundry room and had sex there. But I was thinking, so I assume Citra was a virgin until marriage, given her religion.
I would assume so.
Because they didn't have sex until marriage. So I assume that she... And I was like, imagine losing your virginity in a laundry room.
I know. That's why I'm like, maybe she's not a virgin? I don't know.
Because even Sam was like, wow, she had some moves for her first time. And I was like, this is kind of interesting.
Interesting.
I wonder if she's hiding if she's actually
I feel like they like sexed all the time.
Yeah, I think that they're very sexual people.
Yeah. And or Clayton, what's his name? Sam. Keep getting Sam and Clayton mixed up. So Sam, he's like, I had to think of chubby old men to make it last longer. Ew.
So gross. That's so nasty.
And then Citra said that she's his corn star.
Oh yeah,
porn star. It's funny.
I was wondering if she knew the word porn star or if she thinks it's corn star, because like on TikTok they don't say porn star, they just say corn star.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
And I was wondering if like language difference wise, if she thinks that the actual term is corn star.
Yes, that's very funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to be on Happily Ever After whenever that starts.
Yeah, and she's pregnant. They talk about it in the reunion. Yeah, she's preggo.
She's preggo. And like I feel like they're the only couple that like really likes each other.
Yeah, they actually seem
like very in love.
Get along and be in love. So yeah. Good for them, I guess.
The opposite of them, Rob and Sophie.
Oh, God.
So they're checking into a hotel in Santa Barbara for the night before their wedding. They go to the Hilton Garden Inn.
Yeah, wherever they are, that shit's right next to a freeway. I'm like, they're... Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're on the freeway for sure.
Yeah, they are on the freeway.
Rob opens some champagne and he spills it all over himself.
Yeah.
And they're like hungover the next day.
Yeah, they're not doing great.
Like, they must have drank a shit ton of champagne.
Yeah.
And Sophie has a cough. She's like, I feel like ass. Like, she's just laying in bed. And I'm like,
yeah, I'm like, did this bitch have COVID? Like, she's like coughing and nasally and feels sick. And she's like, I feel like I have a fever. And I'm like, girl, are you going to test for COVID or what?
Probably.
Like, she did not look good.
And then she's like, I wonder if it's my body giving me a sign to not get married.
Maybe.
And then she's
the fact that you've had that thought is an issue.
Yeah. And then she says, she's like, I feel like it's 90% the right decision to get married. And I'm like, only 90%? What are you doing?
Yeah, that's scary.
So weird. She's getting her makeup done and she's never had her makeup done. So she's like excited about that. She's like, the first time anyone's ever done my makeup.
That's surprising.
Yeah. Rob's two friends are there. Sophie's dress is like very plain, short, and cute. It's no Vivienne Westwood $10,000 dress.
Well, that's what was so funny is I'm like, this is a dress from Shein or like
Zara.
Forever 21 or not even Zara. It's just a white spaghetti strap short white dress.
Like that was like $100, maybe under $100.
Yeah, I'm like, girl, you're trying on $10,000 dresses on TV, and then you come with a $100 dress.
She's not wearing shoes. They're doing a beach wedding. She's got her toe ring, like an ankle ring.
Yeah, she's trying to go boho. She's trying to go boho. She has like a floral crown thing.
Yes. And then, so her and her mom show up to the wedding. Like they can't find the beach. They're like walking around. They can't figure out how to get down to the beach.
Yeah.
And then they do.
It's cute.
Yeah, it's a cute little wedding.
It's like literally on the beach, and they've set up blankets and tables and little, floral arrangements and stuff. It's a fine. Cute, small, intimate wedding. It seems sweet.
Mm-hmm. And then her mom catches the bouquet.
She does.
So
her mom cries. She seems happy actually at the end of the wedding, but I think it's just weddings will do that to you.
Yeah.
But then we get to the reunion, the tell-all.
Oh, do we? Okay, so everyone shows up. We see Ashley. She's like, I lost 101 pounds. And I was like, what?
No.
It wasn't obvious at first.
I don't think it's obvious now. I think she lost maybe 50 pounds maybe at the
I was like,
most.
wow. Because like looking back at photos, I'm like, she seems similar size. Like if she didn't say anything, I wouldn't have even noticed.
Me either. But she claims to have lost 100 pounds, which is crazy.
I wonder if it was like not from the show, but like from before the show, like a couple years before the show. Because maybe she could have been
maybe
heavier.
it was a gradual.
Yeah.
Because 100 pounds is a lot of weight.
That's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So she sages the studio, of course, because she's a witch. Sophie shows up. She dyed her hair back to brown, like a dark brown.
Yeah.
And then she said she only dyed her hair blonde because Rob asked her to.
Yeah. She was also she wears wigs too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I know that I think I don't know how long her hair is, but
I don't think it's that long.
Yeah. She is a brunette again, which I think looks better on her actually.
I like it on her.
Yeah.
Nikki shows up wearing an insane dress, that pink ruffly, it's huge.
Yeah, it's a pink like bustier dress.
Like you'd wear to the Oscars. Or the Grammys.
It's more prom. I think it's more prom.
Prom. There's a very long
prom Grammy
train. It's a poofy.
It's asymmetrical. It's short in the front, long in the back.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's interesting. I mean, it's her personality.
It is her personality for sure.
And she reveals that she has talked to Igor/Justin the night before, and he wants to be close friends. And he says he's not, quote, trans attracted.
Yeah, so I guess she went to Moldova for his birthday. So after breaking up, I guess they started talking again. Mm-hmm. And she flew to Moldova for his birthday. I guess things went well or fine. And then when she got home, he again broke up with her and was like, let's just be friends.
At least he admitted, I'm not trans attracted.
Right. He finally told her the truth about all of this.
Yeah.
About her dress, he sees her and he says that you remind me of a phoenix, like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
Yes.
It's weird.
Citra and Sam show up. Citra has an announcement. She's 12 weeks pregnant.
Awesome.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah. Sam's like, you all know I'm a horny freak. That's how he got her pregnant. And Citra says, yeah, he is really fast swimmers. So that's how I got pregnant so quickly.
Cool guys. Yeah. Clayton and Anali come in, and Manuel immediately starts to give him shit. Like, why'd your mom live in your closet? It's like, oh, okay, hi.
Yeah, nice to see you.
And Clayton's very defensive. Ashley brought her tarot cards, of course.
Yeah, and she's like, can I do a tarot reading for the whole group before we begin? And everyone's like, okay.
Sure.
And Jasmine keeps turning to Gino and being like, why are you shaking? Why are you shaking? Because I guess Gino's nervous about what the cards are going to say. So she pulls the Knight of Swords, which means anything that's done in the dark is going to come to light. She pulls the Judgment card, and she pulls the Four of Wands upside down, which is the Happiness card, but upside down, which means that some people will leave will leave the reunion unhappy, perhaps because of the things that will come to light or the judgment of other people in the group.
Sure.
Which is... you could have guessed that from every single reunion.
I mean,
that
happens. Yeah, a secret's gonna come out. Oh,
no way. Yeah.
Turns out Clayton and Anali moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yep.
And his mom is there. With them. I wonder if she's living in a closet.
Yeah, they don't say.
They don't say
physically where.
She's in the city.
Yeah.
And then Jasmine is talking about Michigan. She's like, I'm a Michigan girl now. I love Michigan. Turns out Sean Robinson, the host, is also from Michigan.
I feel like everyone's low key from Michigan somehow.
Right?
Yeah.
Just because I am.
Yeah.
Devin's there. She looks great.
Yeah, and apparently she lost 40 pounds from filming.
Yeah.
And people on the internet are really worried because Devin's, is it Nick? Nick is her husband?
Yes.
I think so. He was the one who would call her Piggy the entire time. And everyone's like, I feel like you got bullied into an eating disorder. But Devin says, no, this was the weight that I was before filming.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to get back to my natural weight. And every time I follow her on Twitter, and every time someone posts that she looks too skinny, she just retweets it and says, actually, I think I look hot here, which I think is really funny. Yeah. And then she wore Christian Louboutins to the reunion. And people are like, wow, you're wearing fake Louboutins. Like, that's so stupid or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then she said, actually, they're real. And I got them on the I think it's called Versaterre Collective or something, which is a website like The Real. And she's like, I bought them out of my own pocket. Like, I dressed myself. Yeah, she's just, I feel like she's just a normal
she seems
girl.
very normal.
Yeah.
And she has, did you notice on her arm, she had some sort of like patch or like...
Oh, she had the birth control patch or something on her arm?
I don't know if it was birth control patch, but remember she takes medication for like TMJ or something.
I thought that what she took for her TMJ was she just got Botox in her masseters for TMJ.
Because I thought she said the reason why she was like, her teeth were clenched when she was talking or she was speaking weird. It's because she like was on medication or was on medication. Something going on with TMJ.
There's no TMJ medication. You can just get masseter Botox or wear a thing, but I don't think there's any TMJ medication.
I was taking injections in Australia for it.
Yeah, Botox.
Oh, but going off her medication was not a good idea because she started noticing her face was getting bigger and the pain kept increasing. She began taking injections a couple months ago. I just hope this clears some things up. Okay, so she got off her medication because she knows her face was getting bigger and her pain was increasing. So she got back on the
I don't think medication is the right word. I think when they say injections,
I think she's referring to medication as injection.
Yeah, because it just relaxes the muscle. So I got Botox for TMJ once, and it didn't work for me, and it changed the shape of my face, which I didn't like. Yeah, because it relaxes the muscle.
Right.
So it just like my face usually is like more angular here, and it like kind of made it more circular, which was kind of bizarre.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So she wasn't taking, she calls it medication, but it's injections. So yeah, she looks good. Seems like she's doing very well.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we get into Rob and Sophie. So they moved to Austin. They said, it's cheaper. We can get a bigger place. Yeah. They have a bathroom inside.
Yeah, they have a bathroom.
And then Igor says, he just chimes in and is like, not having a bathroom could be good because you take your shit away from the house.
It is true. I actually did never think of it that way, that like your partner never hears you pooping or peeing. So that's kind of nice.
Sure. He talks about the cheating thing and him asking girls for videos. Like that's what he was doing. Like when Sophie wasn't in town, he would ask girls, like, send me more videos. And then Igor chimes in again and says,
this killed me.
Yeah. What do you expect when you're so far away? It's masturbation. It's like a virtual game. It's not cheating. What are you talking about?
Like, he's basically saying that as long as you're not...
Yeah.
Well, he didn't even say as long as you're not meeting the person in person. He's basically like when your significant other isn't there, that it's just...
He's like, it's like the VR glasses, that's what it's like. It's like, no. Sophie's
it's just
like,
masturbating.
Cheating.
Yeah, he's like, if there's no feelings, then it's just like masturbating.
What? Okay. Well, that's probably what Igor is doing.
Well, yeah, 100%.
Yes.
That's so scary. Like that some men have that
like
mentality.
It's not cheating. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's really terrifying.
Yeah. And then Sophie's mom is there. Rob and Sophie's mom get into a fight. They just do not get along.
No.
And she's like, Rob the knob.
Rob the knob.
He was just at home playing video games when he should have been trying to find a job. And
he says that he had two jobs at the time, but I'm like, he doesn't ever disclose what these jobs are.
No, because he had apparently 2 years to find a new apartment before Sophie got there, and he didn't.
Right. Yeah.
And apparently they Rob and Sophie lived in Mexico for a while.
Yeah.
And Rob thought Sophie was like paying the rent, and Sophie's like, oh no, my mom was paying the rent.
My mom was.
So Rob like didn't know that.
Yeah. That's
And Rob is like mad at Sophie. He's like, because you always take your mom's side. And she's like, I take my mom's side when she's right.
When she's right.
Yeah.
But it also, someone said later, I can't remember who it was. It actually might have been Devin, being like, what I've learned through marriage is that the issues you have with your partner, you do them like to the side and you don't bring them publicly. And I was like, but not when your partner's like Rob,
right?
You know,
when he's like,
and you're on a reality show.
Yeah. Rob sucks. He wants Sophie to tell him how much she appreciates him and loves him, because he claims, he's like, well, I tell you all the time, and she's like, no, you don't.
Yeah,
you never tell me this. He's like, I just want you to like tell me how much work I've been doing for us and like how grateful you are. And she's like, but you're not doing anything.
Right, exactly.
You're not doing shit.
Yeah. So what am I supposed to be grateful for?
They need to break up.
100%. Yeah. But they're on next season, right? Of 90 Day Fiance, like still being together, I think.
Oh, are they on Happily Ever After?
Yeah, I think Happily Ever After. Yeah, I think they're on next season. I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ashley and Manuel.
She talks about sex magic. Because they're talking a lot about their sex life, or Sean's asking about it.
Right.
And she says that if you get a penis candle, and which you can get in one of those witchcraft stores, and you cover it with your partner's semen and some different herbs, and then you burn it, that it will fix your issues in your relationship and bring you closer to your partner. And
what does that smell like?
Disgusting. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
And she for sure has done that.
Oh, are you kidding? Yeah, 100%. And Sean's like, Manuel, what do you think about that? And he's like, we keep that stuff private.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And if you remember, they had sex in public at that restaurant in the bathroom. And Sean asked if any of the other couples have had sex in public before. And Rob says that he has, but not with Sophie. And Sophie's like, well, why won't you have sex with me in public? And that's a whole thing. So then Ashley's mom, Stacy, and her sister, Sienna, come on. And her mom does not trust Manuel, does not like him, because she doesn't like that he left the kids and didn't tell them.
Sure.
So when Manuel left Ecuador, he told his family and kids that he was going to find work and didn't tell them that he was going to America to get married and stay there forever.
Like same thing Annalie did.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. The more I think about Annalie, the more I think she's really weird.
Yeah.
Like, and problematic.
Yes.
And her mom and her sister are like, I think that's really bad. I think that's a horrible way to parent.
Yeah.
And Jasmine's like, I told my kids what I was doing, that I was planning on bringing them over. I involve them in my relationship. I talk to them every day. You know, I visit, you know, it'd be weird if I just left and then never came back. And Ashley's mom says, I don't want them to have children. I don't want to be a grandma because I don't want a kid to be brought into this situation.
Right. And like abandoned.
Yeah. And they bring up the financial issues that Manuel has. And Ashley's mom says that sometimes she gives Ashley money to send to Manuel's family.
Yeah, this was kind of fucked up because like he said he has financial issues, whatever that means. And apparently he never told Ashley before coming to America that he needs to send money back to them. And so sometimes Ashley doesn't have enough money to give to Manuel. And like apparently he gets very angry and like yells at her. So that's when she calls her mom. And the mom's like, well, she's just like screaming and yelling and crying. And then I just send her money because like I don't know what else. I want her to be happy. I don't know what else to do. So that's
scary.
Concerning.
Yeah. And I guess, so he says he was the oldest of 4 kids and he started working at 13 to help pay for his family. And Jasmine explains to Ashley's mom and sister what third world poverty is really like. And it helps his mom have some empathy. Yeah. And so then Ashley's mom and Manuel kind of have a moment.
Yeah, the mom is like, oh God, I had no idea. Because Jasmine's like, sometimes just eating one meal is like a privilege. Like that's not guaranteed. And her mom is like, oh my God, like just had no idea.
Totally. And Ashley's mom is like, Manuel, like, why don't you open up more like that? So then we won't be in judgment. We'll understand and be there for you. And like, you don't have to go through this alone, but we need to understand you in order to understand these behaviors. Otherwise, we're just seeing the behaviors. So one thing about Jasmine that's so bizarre is I always think she's so emotionally intelligent when it comes to other people.
She is.
And she's such a wackadoo in her own life.
It's so bizarre because like it's when she's talking about any other couple, she knows exactly what's going on, what needs to be done. And you're like, yes, Jasmine, exactly.
Yeah. And she's so nice. Like she comes off as such a girl's girl and she's so nice to all the other women and so supportive, and she's such a way with words and kindness. And then you see her in her own life and you're like, get a grip, girl.
What are you doing?
Like,
you're just crazy.
She's so confusing to me. It's really just interesting.
And then they do a segment where they take questions from listeners. They do like a video question from a couple who asked Clayton if he would eat guinea pigs when he visits Peru, because it's like a specialty there.
Yeah.
And he said no. He said no. When I went to Peru, we went to a restaurant where they were serving guinea pig. Martin ate it. I didn't. Even though like I'm pretty open to trying most foods, I didn't. I wasn't interested.
Ashley said that she had tried guinea pig in Ecuador.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it.
I don't know. And then another question comes in. Who would everyone have a kid with in the entire 90-day universe? And
messy.
Nikki says Jasmine.
Yeah.
And then Jasmine says, she's like, well, I've had girlfriends in the past and like I have a little crush on Nikki. Did we know that?
No. So Jasmine, I guess, comes out as bi.
Yeah. That was a surprise.
Yeah. And she's like, I would lick Nikki's pussy.
Yes.
Which also I thought was her being really sweet. Like obviously that comes off as like shocking, but Nikki's whole insecurity was that Igor whatever wouldn't go down on her,
right,
because she was trans. And I'm like, okay, Jasmine's being like, I would love to lick that pussy, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of sweet. Like I'm sure she's like making her, I know it sounds absurd, but I'm like,
no, it was very nice.
Like Jasmine's very like intuitive. I don't know what it is. It's something is really, I'm very fascinated by
She's
Jasmine.
Fascinating. I know people like, it's crazy because like on Reddit, people are like, I don't want to see Jasmine and Gino on the show anymore. And I'm like, I fucking love them. They're so
I want to look inside her brain and just see how she ticks. I want like a 24-hour Jasmine cam just to see what's going on.
They need their own spinoff. I would watch it.
They really do.
Rob also chooses Gino.
Yeah.
To have a kid with, which is funny because Gino's hat matches Rob's suit.
Outfit.
Sophie says she has a crush on Yara.
Not surprising.
That makes sense. Sam says any woman in the room, of course.
Sam says anything with a heartbeat.
Anything. Igor chooses Jasmine.
Yeah.
And she's like, I pass.
Yeah, she's like, no, thank you.
Yeah, Nikki's kind of like, what? Like, it's weird. Like, weird. Everyone's like choosing like joke people, and he's like, Jasmine.
Yeah.
It's like, ew, no. And then we get to Gino and Jasmine.
Yes.
So they talk about her butt implants. She gets up and like shows her butt.
Yeah, she says she wishes it was bigger.
Right? I'm like, it's big. It sticks out. It's big.
And her boobs look bigger than before too, right?
I know. They keep getting bigger every time.
Plastic surgery, man, it's an addiction.
Yeah. But Gino also says, I want her butt to be bigger. What?
His brain is rotted.
His brain. Yeah.
His rotted porn brain.
Yeah. And then they talk about Gino's bachelor party. Jasmine's like still very upset about it.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about the $2,000 that Dane gave her for her butt. Right. And Clayton's like, you should have spent that $2,000 on anger management classes. And she yells, shut up.
Oh my God, I missed this.
You did say it's very funny. It's very
I missed this last part. I still have to watch this.
Oh, so they show more footage of the strip club. Oh
God.
And he's like, making it rain on a stripper's butt. He put his face in like her boobs, just like a little, just to kind of like give her a hug. He gets up on stage for a lap dance. Like he sits in a chair that he takes off his belt, and they put the belt around his neck, like onto the pole. So he's like sitting there, and they're like, shaking their butt.
He got like magic mic'd.
Yes. And it's all very like tame strip club stuff. He didn't get any lap dances. He's not going into private rooms or anything.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, we've got someone, we were going to bring out someone to talk to. It's Daisy, one of the strippers who worked at the club.
No.
Yes.
My God.
They do like a video interview with her.
Right.
She's like, it's funny because she's like in like the back room, like the stripper's back room, at work.
That's so messy.
And they're like, so what was Gino like? And she's like, Gino was very like awkward, and he seemed very uninterested in being there. He seemed more like he was just, with his friends and family, just wanting to have a good time. Which I'm like, oh, good. Like, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And Jasmine is fucking crying through this whole footage. She's like, turn it off. I can't watch. Turn it off. Even though he's like not doing anything.
Yeah.
And she's like, doing her scream, crying. She's like, I would have never married you if I saw this footage. And Gino is like sitting there smiling, like watching the footage.
Oh, God.
He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that was fun. While Jasmine's like crying.
Hysterical.
Just hysterical. And it's funny because they come back to Daisy and she's like, okay, what, like, can I go now? What's happening?
Can I go?
She's like, I don't want to be involved in this.
So my shift's starting.
And Gino's like, she's overreacting. But she like walks off. God. I would have never married you.
See, that's what I'm talking about. She's freaking.
Ugh. And that was the end of part 1.
Well, I'm excited for part 2. Yeah. My God. Mm-hmm. Now let's get into the Single Life season 4 episode 9. Tyray shoots his shot. Baby Tyray. Melissa, tell us what goes on in this episode.
He's out at the club talking to girls. He meets a girl named Raina.
Ooh.
Gets his number. I think she's like 25.
Wow.
She's Tyray describes her as like a little chubby, has a little weight on her, and he's like, I like that.
Oh, good.
I like that. So she invites him to a house party. And he's like,
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, I'll go to a house party. She has very long eyelash extensions. She looks she's a little bit of a mess. She's a little bit all over the place.
Anytime you say house party.
Yeah, party.
I get PTSD.
What's funny is that like she asked, or like, how old do you think I am or whatever? And I was like, oh God, she looks like 35. And Tyray's like, I don't know, 22. She's like, close, I'm like 25. I was like, you are? Oh God.
That's a whole thing now on TikTok is people asking how old they are. And
really?
Yeah, it's this whole phenomenon where Gen Z is aging more quickly because they're getting all these like Botox and fillers and extensions and it's making them look older than they actually are.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You stop putting stuff in your 20s. What are you doing? You don't need to do anything.
Yeah, because it's for when you get old. It's not for older. It's not for this whole idea of preventative maintenance.
Preventative Botox. That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
Don't buy into that. No.
So they go. Oh, she's wearing he's wearing beads because New Orleans.
They're in Nolans. Yeah,
they're in Nolans, and she asks for them. She's like, "Can I have your beads?" And he's like, well, you got to do something to get them. Like awkwardly, like, ugh. And then she's like, what? And he's like,
oh no.
He like mimics like a kiss. And you're like, oh. No. And so she's like, how about on the cheek? So he kisses her on the cheek. Like it makes me uncomfortable to watch him because he's so awkward.
He has no game.
No game at all. So they go back to his hotel and they sit by the pool. And they're both just like sitting out in the pool. Like all Tyray talks about is relationships. He's like, so what are you looking for in a relationship?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I don't know. I just want to like get to know someone before we start talking about relationships.
Yeah. He doesn't realize that's like a date question, not we're just hanging out. We've had a few drinks and you're a stranger question.
He's always like, I was hoping to get a kiss. And it's like, you just met this girl.
Yeah, you got to chill.
Yeah.
He needs a dating coach.
Yes.
Or something.
He needs someone to tell him how to date.
Yeah, this is bad.
So Natalie. So she was gonna do. We found out she was gonna do artificial insemination with her ex, Dima. She's had three ex-husbands.
Yeah.
So she said that she did IVF and had a miscarriage when she was 28.
Oh no.
I think with her second husband. So she's done IVF in the past. And then she said she went to church every day for a year and she was trying to become a nun. This is like after her, I think, second marriage. And her family was like, no, don't do it. Like she was trying to be a nun.
I don't think her family should have stopped her.
I know.
I think they would have prevented the world a lot of chaos if they just let her
I know.
go to the monastery.
And then this is the part in the Google Doc where we were in at the same time. And you're like, hello, Melissa, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, and you didn't see it. I just felt insane. Sometimes when Melissa and I are at the Google Doc at the same time, I'll write her a message. And she usually sees it. But this time she didn't. So then I just felt insane.
Hello,
and I just
Melissa,
left
I'm
it
going
there.
to kill you. Okay. So then Natalie goes to the IVF doctor with her mom. She's 38. And they're talking to this doctor. And her mom says, well, a woman can give birth up to 55 easily.
What?
And then she's like, if she does sports, the percentage will be higher. What are you talking about?
What planet does she live on?
Although, how old was Janet Jackson? I feel like Janet Jackson had a baby, like gave birth to a baby.
Janet Jackson is your reference for how old women can be when they give birth?
Well, because I feel like I just heard about her having a baby and she's like in her 50s. Who's that housewife who was pregnant that was only on one season? She had that super young boyfriend, Diana.
Oh, yeah, but but she actually, I don't think she was that old.
I think maybe it was late 40s.
Yeah, but I mean, 50s is crazy.
I mean, you can give birth.
You can, but you have to have like I think it's very rare to be hormonally and
yeah, it'll most likely have to be, donor eggs and sperm.
My progesterone is low.
Oh, is it?
We had that talk about progesterone as a joke.
Right.
And then on the pod. And then I was like, I want to get my progesterone tested because we talked about how like low progesterone can cause like fatigue or like some other stuff. And I got it tested. It's low.
Oh. Can you take
Isn't that interesting?
Progesterone supplements to make it
up the puss? I don't know. That was how it all started. I don't know. My doctor's appointment is Friday. But yeah, my progesterone's low.
Fascinating. Yeah, you could probably. I mean, you can do progesterone shots.
I'm gonna butt chug them.
You can butt chug the little capsules you put up.
Yeah, put them
all sorts
of
ways you can.
Yeah.
So they're looking at like sample profiles of sperm donors.
Oh God.
But Natalie doesn't want the sperm donor to be anonymous because she wants to build a connection with him. And I'm like, well, that's not how it works.
A delusional freak.
Unless you know the person, sperm donor, it's anonymous. Yeah. This is just how it works.
She's just trying to find a boyfriend.
Yes. Yes. That's what she's doing. It's so weird. And most sperm donors, I feel like, are in their 20s. Like, they don't take older sperm.
Yeah, it's like a community college guy trying to get some cash.
But yeah, I don't know. It's so expensive. Like, how does she pay for any of this?
She doesn't have a job. Literally, last episode, she was talking about how she has no job. She doesn't know how she's going to pay her rent. And IVF is like
$10,000 or something.
Yeah, right?
Especially if you get a sperm donor, you got to buy the sperm, couple $1,000s.
Yeah, it's nonsensical.
Yeah.
Unless Michael's going to pay for her 90 Day Fiance ex, Michael's going to pay for it. I mean, I don't know.
Well, at the end of this episode, I guess Michael is coming to visit.
Right. Ooh. So I don't know.
Poor Michael.
This poor guy.
And then we have John, who meets up with Thais and what's his face, his brother.
I don't know. Yeah.
They have a baby. He FaceTimes Megan, who lives in San Antonio, and is like, well, I've decided I'm going to move in with you.
Easy when you don't have your own place.
I know. That's why I was like, he just wants somewhere to live.
Yeah, he needs a place to live. Oh, God.
So he's decided. He told Megan that with her and her daughter. I don't know what's going to happen with that. And then we got Debbie. Debbie's with her son going to meet Ruben the Cuban.
Ooh, Ruben the Groovin Cuban.
And she was saying how she felt like a celebrity driving around with Ruben in his like crazy car. They go hang out with Ruben. They're like spray painting a wall. It's like an event. It's like a weird little event where they can all spray paint a wall. Like that's what they're
arts and crafts.
They're doing arts and crafts. And so Debbie's son is like, well, I need to talk to this guy. And turns out Ruben, he ran a lighting company for 10 years. He had he was a business owner. He said he's only dated blondes.
Well, Debbie's blonde.
Yeah.
She's like blonde, graying adjacent.
Blonde, gray adjacent. And so then his son asks like if he ever been in trouble with the law, and he's like, nope. He's absolutely not. I have never been. And then Debbie's son tells Ruben about Osama, Debbie's ex, and was like, well, she was sending him money. And he was like, oh, like Ruben didn't know any of this. And he's like, I'm just weary of my mom, like getting into relationships where she's sending money. So Ruben's like, oh, I didn't know that she was still in contact with Osama, her ex. So he's like, I don't want your mom's money. Like, I don't need your mom's money. This is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I like Ruben. I think that they get along well, and he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of rooting for them. I'm not going to lie.
You're rooting for Ruben?
I'm rooting for Ruben.
The Groovin Cuban.
Are you Ruben? Rooting for Ruben the Groovin Cuban.
Ruben the Groovin Cuban.
Yeah, God. It's like a neurology test. Anyways, that's it for this week. Join us next week for the tell-all part 2 and more of the single life. Yeah, I cannot wait either. Comment or call if you know any more insider information for us. Anyways, I am Allie Siegel.
I am Melissa Stettin.
And that's all, folks. Bye.
Oh, it's another 90-day fiance, baby. Oh, it's another 90-day fiance recap.
Powered by Acast.